401k plans were never designed for you. They were designed for your employer. Why? Because pensions were becoming too expensive and they needed to find another way to be able to lower expenses as a company. So today, folks, I'm going to break down 401ks, the origin, how it works, the fees, the pros and cons, the ins and outs, and everything you need to know right now going into 2026 about 401ks, and then also options, how to move your 401k, how to do rollovers, transfers. I'm going to break all that down. So ladies and gents, just here to drop a few cents. You're here to retire with Earl with a decade license in the financial industry and 2 decades of investment portfolio experience. I want to break this down, but make sure you guys already know, like, follow, subscribe, and click in the description below where you can schedule a consultation and get a free budget to start the year in 2026. But let's get started. 401ks. 401k is an internal revenue code, IRC 401k, which is designed as a great tool, right? But Ted Bena, who actually, he didn't make the 401ks, but he made it very famous. He kind of found an exploit where, hey, we could actually use it as a way where employees could start to benefit. And that's when companies found out how 401ks could really be used as a way to get themselves out of the pension. Now, what's the difference of a pension and a 401k? A pension is what you call a defined benefit. Now, a defined benefit is this. You work for a company for X amount of years. They figure out regularly, they base the years plus your salary. They give a kind of an average. And then they put that into a pension where the company takes care of everything. Your company pays for your retirement. And that was fine and dandy back in the day. But here's the problem, folks. Not when 401ks, when pensions and Social Security came out, okay? Back in 1935, Social Security came out. All these pensions came out. It was still the same. Still the same. Age 65 was retirement. But life expectancy back then was 61. Think about that, folks. If retirement is 65, but life expectancy was 61, most people didn't even get to retirement to cash in on that defined benefit plan. So even if you had a defined benefit, even if you did have a pension and a Social Security, you may have only used it, for 3, 4, 5 years, and that's it. And back then it was 42 to 1, meaning 42 people put money into Social Security in different plans. One person was taking everything out. Guess what? Fast forward to today, when you look at your 401ks, not just 401ks, when you look at people living, you went from life expectancy age 61 to now people living to the mid 80s. So what does that mean, folks? That means if you have a pension, companies went from barely paying anybody, maybe 3 to 4 years, to now they got to pay everybody for 15, 20, 25 years. Do you think the company you work at right now could afford to pay your retirement for the next 15, 20, 25 years? You left there, you're still paying the retirement. They can't do that. Well, that's a defined benefit. When the 401k came into play, it turned into a defined contribution, meaning instead of the company taking the risk, you take the risk. You're taking the risk. Okay, they may match you, maybe here or there, if you're vested or fully vested, but you're taking the risk, but all the responsibility is up to you. All the losses, those are your losses. You got to figure out how the investment strategies, all that work. It's entirely up to you. And if they match you, you got to find out if they're vested or fully vested. Okay, vesting period regularly means between 3 to 5 years. So a vesting period, they will say, look, you got to be here for 3 years or you got to be here for 5 years before we start matching you. And a lot of folks don't know that. But here's the thing. The average person right now switches jobs every 2.5 years. So most people don't even get to the vesting period. So that's vested. Now you will hear fully vested, and that means day one, your 401k is good to go. They're going to match you. So you got to see if you have that. But you see how it went from the company having all the risk now to you having all the risk. And that's huge. As of right now, they did the statistics, the Labor Bureau statistics, about 72% of companies offer defined contribution plans, and only roughly around 14% of companies have defined benefit plans. So not many people even can get to those. And that's huge. So now you know a little bit of why they kind of went that route. They figured out a little loophole where they could have the employee putting money in and not as much on them on the back end. So that's huge. So it brings the question, are 401ks still a good strategy? Yes, they are. If a company's matching you, it's still putting in money. You'll hear a lot of people say, oh, that's not good. 401ks, they're okay at best. I'm not for them, I'm not against them. If you could get free money, hey, take it. Okay? And that's you. So right now, as of 2026, you could contribute $24,500. If your age is 50 and up, you could play catch up and you could put in an additional $8,000 on top of that. And then those between ages 60 to 63, you're allowed to put in $11,250 a year. So as you're older, they could be a little bit more aggressive and give you a little bit more. So that's huge. Now, obviously, you have your regular 401k, you have a Roth 401k, and that's the same way as a Roth IRA. How does it work? A regular 401k is tax deferred. You're going to put $200 a check in, that's tax deferred down the road. Once you hit retirement, then you're getting taxed. Okay, but like I always say, people, when you need it the most is when they tax you the most. Now you have a Roth 401k where you're putting in that same $200 a month, but they're taking out the taxation up front, and now everything else gets to accumulate tax advantage, tax free. Don't see it a lot. I've been licensed for the last decade. I've maybe 4 or 5 companies that I've dealt with actually use a Roth 401k. So it's not up to the government, it's up to your employer to figure out what they want to give to you guys. So now, understand their pros and there's going to be cons. What are some of the pros? You had that tax deferred where you don't have to worry about anything later. The company's matching you to a certain percentage and it's automatic. Folks, this is huge. The biggest problem is most people are not consistent when it comes saving for retirement. It's automatic, out of sight, out of mind. You're not worrying about 401ks coming out because you know it's coming out your check. Now, you yourself, you're the one that has to start saving and investing on a monthly basis. Most people don't do it. So that's huge, where it's automated, where you could at least have a fund that could work for you, right? Now, some of the cons are there's a lot of fees. And here's the thing, there's a lot of small fees, but those small fees could compound together. You can have administrative fees, you can have fiduciary fees, you have a paper fee. Some of the financial advisors, they charge basis points. So those basis points fees, you might see a 0.25 or 0.3 basis points. Doesn't sound like much. Some people might do a 0.5%, 1% basis points. You got $100,000, that means $1,000 is coming out, right? $500,000 and your 401k, that means $5,000 is coming out every time they're doing that. That could be quarterly, could be monthly. Tony Robbins himself said about 1/3 of 401ks are lost because of fees. We're not talking taxes, we're not talking penalties, we're talking fees. 1/3 of your retirement could be lost completely just to the fees inside of 401k. And that fee may be anywhere from 1%, 1.5%. Doesn't sound like much, but if you have a 401k that's giving you 4.5%, 5% yearly, let's just say you're getting 5% in your 401k, maybe 6% in your 401k, but you're paying 1.5% in fees. That means 25% of your 401k growth is gone right there. Right, so you have to understand these could eat into a lot of your 401k, the fees that are there. So make sure you understand how those actually work. Okay, now I would say, unfortunately, one of the cons are what we call RMDs, required minimum distributions. Once you get over 72.5, guess what? You have to take money out your 401k. If not, bam, automatic 25% fee. 25%, sorry, not a fee, a penalty. 25% penalty if you don't take your money out once you hit a certain age. And you guys are lucky. They had the Secure 2.0 Act, lowered it. It used to be 50%. So imagine you're 73, you don't even need the money. But guess what? When you start taking it, since it's so late, bam, 50% already penalized. Require minimum distributions. It's horrible. If you take the money too early, you get penalized. You take the money too late, you get penalized. So understand, it's a retirement strategy, so it's designed to be used towards retirement time, your 401k. So the question is, should you have the 401k there? Should you move it? Well, understand there's 4 things with your 401k. Number one, you can move it you have a brand new job, you can move your 401k. Number two, you can leave it. You may have an old job, you can leave it there and then be at the mercy of whatever everything does. Number three is you could cash it out. Depending on your age, you could get taxed and penalized early. Or number four, you could move your 401k into another strategy. That could be another 401k, it could be an IRA, it could be an annuity. There's a lot of different strategies that could be used for a 401k once you're discussing moving it. So if you want to move it into another strategy, there's going to be pros and cons of that first. So you got to understand that, folks. Number one, we call it a direct trustee to trustee transfer. This is huge. If you're moving your money to an IRA, if you're moving your 401k into an annuity, you want to make sure it's a direct trustee to trustee transfer, meaning your company, let's just use Fidelity. All you got to know Fidelity. Your 401k is with Fidelity. You have that Fidelity, send a check directly to the annuity company, directly to whoever is doing the IRA. This is huge because that's called a direct transfer. Now, indirect means the company will send it to you and then you send that check to wherever you're sending it. Once you're doing that, you're, bam, automatic subject to 20%. So you see, you want to make sure you're moving it correctly because if you're moving it wrong, you could get penalized as well, folks. Now, the question is, once you move your 401k, do you pay taxation? Even if you put into a Roth IRA, right, which grows tax-free. Fixed index annuities, those grow tax-free. Well, guess what? Depending where your 401k is what you could do with your 401k when it comes to taxation. And the word is called qualified. It's either qualified or non-qualified. And folks, I'll keep it simple. It's exactly what it sounds like. You're either qualified to pay taxation on your 401k or you're not qualified to pay taxation. Now, what does that mean? If you have $100,000 in your 401k, right, you got to pay taxes on that. If you move that into an annuity, right, you could be qualified to pay that taxation up front, or you could have it down in the back end. So you could say, hey, let's keep it simple. Let's say it's $100,000, $24,000 in taxes. So you could option A, have $76,000 roll from your 401k into an IRA. Roll that into an annuity. You took care of the taxation. Or you could roll that whole $100,000 over, and then you could have taxes at the back end coming out. So once you start withdrawing, you're going to get $2,500 a month minus a little bit of taxation. Just cut you a check for $2,300 a month until you take care of all that taxation you have. That's what you call it. However you do it, it's still qualified. Your 401k is qualified to be taxed. Now, non-qualified means it's not qualified to be taxed. If you're moving stuff into an annuity or anything like that, say you have money in the bank that's already been taxed, so it's not qualified, you could put into another strategy. If it's a Roth 401k, it's already taxed, it's not qualified to be taxed once you move it into another strategy, an IRA or a fixed index annuity. So a lot of stuff to know about 401ks. You can have up to 17 fees in that bad boy. You can have taxes, you can have penalties, a lot of different places you could put everything. Hell, you might not even know you have an old 401k. 1 out of every 13 people have unclaimed funds they don't even know about. Unclaimedretirementbenefits.com. Go to it right now. Unclaimedretirementbenefits.com. You can put in your information, name, date of birth, social security, basic info. They could tell you if you have anything. It could be from 401ks, it could be from insurance, whatever it could be. A lot of different things. But you can check to see if you have some, see what's going on, and at least know what's going on with your 401ks. Okay? Unfortunately, 401ks are volatile accounts. Market goes up, your money goes up. Market goes down, your money goes down. I call them roller coaster accounts. 401ks are one of the biggest roller coaster accounts. But let me ask you this. When you get off on a roller coaster, where do you get off? On the top or at the bottom? Unfortunately, a lot of you may get off your 401k at the bottom. When there's a crash, you're going to panic. You need to learn MCP, Market Correction Protection. I have other videos that explain that. I just want to break down the basic 401k so folks understand. It's a good strategy. It may not be the best strategy, but you want 401k to be at least part of your portfolio if you want supplemental income. Now, what does supplemental income means? Exactly what it sounds like. You're supplementing your income from different sources to be able to have your retirement. Meaning, you make $6,000 a month. Well, your Social Security gives you $1,200. Your real estate gives you $1,500. A 401k could give you $800. Your IRA could give you $1,000. You see what I'm saying? You put all these supplemental incomes together to be able to maintain your same lifestyle. Now, unfortunately, right now the average 401k balance is around $188,000, and you know that's not going to be enough. If you look at a typical, even if your house and everything's paid off, most people need at least $3 to $4 grand a month. So we're talking anywhere from 40 to 50,000 a year. You got 188,000 as the average 401k before taxes for most people, meaning most people are walking away with 120,000. You may only have 2-3 years at best, which is why 54% of people who retire got to go back to work in the next 4 years because they don't have enough. They don't have a plan of action. This is why having a plan of action is so important, and understanding if the 401k is good for you, if the 401k is bad for you, or if it's a part of your portfolio. The biggest problem being licensed for the last decade is most of you watching this, that's your whole retirement. You're banking on 401k, you're banking on Social Security, and that's it. You have nothing else. So that's why if you have a 401k, there's something that we call the retirement red zone. 5 years before retirement, 5 years after you retired, that 10-year period, you need to make sure that your money's not in volatile accounts. I have a client, 2022, market dropped 19%. He turned 65. He wanted to retire in 2022. We're about to hop into 2026. He's still working, trying to recoup the $219,000 that he lost, right? So think about that. You want to make sure, even if the 401k could be working great for you, is it your only strategy? Is it the only thing that you want to have? Most likely not. But at least if you have a 401k, now you guys know a little bit. There's going to be pros, there's going to be cons, there's going to be fees. It's either going to be qualified or non-qualified to be taxed. Ultimately speaking, do your own research to see if it could be a great strategy or if you want to roll everything over. If you're looking to roll over a 401k into different strategies, like I said, click in the description, schedule a consultation. We can run some numbers, I can run some quotes, just so you can have a comparison to see what you could have for retirement, folks. So with that being said, that's the rules here for 2026. $24,500 you could put into your 401k. Make sure you're matching. If the company matches, at least put up to the match. Don't go over, at least put up to the match. Why? Because the company matches you 5%, you're putting in 10%. The market would have dropped, that 5% extra, that's the first amount that's gone. Now what they match you, your company's still good. Because remember, they're writing this bad boy off. They're matching you for a certain amount. On their case, that's a tax break and a tax write-off. So they're good. So understand how that works. Because 401ks were ultimately not designed to be for you. They were designed for your employers, to be able to switch all the risk to you, not them. Because defined benefit plans were not working any longer. So with that being said, ladies and gents, just here to drop a few cents, dropping information on 401ks, and I'll see you on the next video.